We can do it, and we will do it. Let me give you a little history that's important to me as a person of color. In 1807, in this country, it was legal to have a person of my hue be a slave. And the same way abolitionists, folks like John Brown, and so many others fought against that, 200 years later and beyond, we don't regard slavery. Even though there are slavery in parts of the world, it is not the same as it was then. We can do the same thing for war. The same way we ended slavery, we can put war out of our framework. And the reason, yes. And the reason that I said that is that one of the great phenoms of the church was this. In those days, the church was segregated, as it is, unfortunately, sometimes today. But the way it would work is that people of color would be in the balconies like these. And they would be slaves. They would be beaten. They would be raped. They would be tormented. Slaves. But when they would come, they would be in the balcony. And on the bottom level would be all white people, and they'd be very quiet. And as the slaves begin to think about how good it would be when slavery would come, the balcony, they would say, would begin to rock. They would begin to rock just thinking about what it's going to look like, even for my descendants, when slavery does not exist. And they got so bad. I mean, it was so bad, like churches like this, that black people would be falling out the balcony and falling on white people. And they would get up there in the balcony and they would be falling out again, thinking about how good it would be when slavery does not exist. So I know when I think about the day when George Bush is impeached and is no longer in office, I too just get excited. I just get pumped up. When I think about the day when George Bush is yanked out the White House and they pull him out of there, when I think about that day, I get excited. Yeah! 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 Come on, somebody make some noise! I can't hear you. Make some noise! That's what I'm talking about. Man, it's because, you know, George Bush says he prays to his Heavenly Father about what he should do. Well, I guess I'm a Christian too. So I've been praying to my Heavenly Mother about getting you out of office every single night. With that, I want to bring up a point why this is so important. Can you hear me? I want to bring up why this is so important. Later on in the evening, after our next speaker, the mic is going. The correspondents want to cut off, but I can talk loud too now. They can try to cut it off right there, but I can get loud. So I just want to say this, because I want to acknowledge some true patriots who have truthfully given the ultimate sacrifice. You see, my job with the United States Air Force was I was a part of the chaplain corps. And part of the duties of the chaplain corps would be you would have to go to the parents of the soldiers' parents who had just been killed. And I don't know if you've ever told somebody that their 20-year-old has been killed, or their 20-year-old has been killed in an unjust and illegal war. That's an amazing thing to do. But there are some parents here tonight who've gotten that on their door. And while it might have knocked them for all they had, they're here tonight fighting for justice. So I want to acknowledge some of these true patriots. So I want to acknowledge Carlos and Melinda, yes, who lost their son in Iraq. I want to acknowledge Juan Torres, whose son was killed in Afghanistan. I want to acknowledge Missy Kwame Beatty, whose nephew was killed in Iraq. And I want to acknowledge Cindy Sheehan, who became the Rosa Parks of the anti-war movement when she sat down in a ditch and refused to leave.